Chapter XLV. Now certain combinations of the Arcana will be studied. Arcana 13, 2, 3, and 14. 13 is associated with Mem. I think this one is, 2 is associated with Bet. And 14 resonates with Nun. 13 plus 2 plus 3 equals 18. 1 plus 8 plus 9, 1 plus 8 equals 9, the ninth sphere. So Mem, Bet, and Nun. In Kabbalah, we have to constantly look at the Hebrew letters. The above capital letters refer to the word of the Master Mason, a word that because of an oath cannot be revealed. The 3 capital letters can be spoken about separately. In the first place, it refers to the word that corresponds to the death and resurrection of Hiram Abif, meaning that the spirit separates from matter. It also signifies that the flesh separates from the bones. That is why it is said that one must die in order to resurrect. If one does not die, one is not born. In the second place, it refers to the construction that follows destruction. Thus, as we are constituted, we must be destroyed. All of us are demons, because we have the terrible demon Apopi of the Egyptian mysteries inside. This demon is the body of desires, wrongly mistaken for the astral body. This astral body must be built in the forge of Cyclops sex, because it does not exist. It doesn't exist currently. Then we have the animal mental body, which is much worse. It is the demon Hai of the Egyptian mysteries. This demon must be destroyed and decapitated. See for yourselves that there is no peace over the face of the earth. We live constantly in wars, fornication, adulteries, vengeance. This mental body has nothing angelic. We do not have the causal body. This must be built in the forge of Cyclops. Instead of this body, we have the demon of evil will. Evil will is the demon who says, "That person makes me sick." These 3 demons are never absent in any of the Gospels. In the Gospel of Buddha, I've never heard that before. In the Gospel of Buddha, they appear as the 3 Furies, the 3 daughters of the famous Mara. We must understand that we are demons and start from ground zero, to put ourselves in the place where we belong. We need the great destruction of ourselves, the death of the eye, the destruction of the seeds of the eye, and the lunar bodies. That which has been born of the Father is in the state of putrefaction. This signifies that Christ is dead, that he is in the state of putrefaction. That is why it is said that each person is a living sepulchre. It is said that he is dead because he does not live within any one of us. The Son must be born in us, and then he must be liberated. He must live the whole drama to then ascend towards the Father. What is born from the Father lives in the Son. What is born from the ens seminis and lives within Christ. The pure waters of life are the basic element of regeneration. When Buddha was meditating, fighting against the 3 Furies, Mara unleashed a tempest. Buddha was going to be drowned by the waters. But suddenly, a serpent appeared, and by slithering underneath the seated Buddha, it coiled itself 3 times and a half. And while the waters were rising, the serpent rose, so the Buddha did not drown. The serpent represents the Divine Mother. Regeneration is impossible without the waters of life. The Son of Man emerges from within these waters of life. It is good to proceed with a deep understanding of the esotericism in these sacred things, but truly understanding them. Let us remember the fish, which is life. It is born and it dies within the waters. Let us remember the case of the fish Dari of the Chaldeans, which represents the same. It represents the Christ emerging from within the waters, the Son of Man who is being born from within the waters. The first letter is faith, or rather the first letter is mem, faith. The second letter is bet, hope. The third letter is charity, nun. So it seems to be in this context, in this case, this is what these letters mean or symbolize. So nun is charity, even though I'm not really familiar with these particular definitions or meanings. The first letter is death and regeneration. See for yourselves what an intimate relationship exists between death and water. The 13th arcanum, which is death, is related with the waters. To attain the second birth is impossible without the transmutation, 14th arcanum, of the waters. To die is necessary, and the foundation of death is a sexual topic. Death is within sex, and likewise life is within sex. Sex must be eliminated after having reached the second birth. Let us remember the expression, "Lead me from the darkness into the light." Death is a guide into immortality. Death guides from unreality into reality. All of these must be performed by the Master, and he does it when he finds the lost word. This is the word that accomplished the resurrection of Hiram Abif. This word is the verb, the word of the light, or the superior doctrine that the initiate receives, and by means of it attains the magisterium. It is clear that the modus operandus of this is the arcanum AZF, and likewise for the destruction of the ego. Therefore, the 13th arcanum signifies death and resurrection and is related with Tantra, 14th arcanum. The second waters, or rather letter, is the second arcanum, which is the house of the spirit. It is related with the sanctum sanctorum, which signifies the consciousness, the philosophical stone without which transmutation cannot be achieved. It is necessary to build the solar bodies. It is not possible to put new wine, the intimate Christ, into an old flask, the lunar bodies. It is necessary to build the solar bodies in order to accommodate this sacred wine. This philosophical stone is in the second arcanum, with which all of the transmutations must be performed. This stone must be chiseled, because without it, the sexual transmutation cannot be attained. This signifies that one has to work very hard. This is pointed out by the 14th arcanum, which is transmutation. Therefore, in the resurrection, or in the elevation towards magisterium, the following is needed: to deny oneself, death; to take the cross, elevation of oneself towards the magisterium; 3. To follow the Christ. The sacred N, Nun, is found in the 14th arcanum. It is the fish of life that is born and dies within the waters, thus reaching the light. Let us remember the multiplication of the fish. We cannot be elevated towards the magisterium if we do not descend to destroy the ego, even if we have already reached the second birth. It is necessary to descend in order to ascend. Victory exists in the third arcanum, whether it is material or spiritual victory. The third arcanum is the Divine Mother, the Kundalini. She is the goddess of the verb. She is Hadit, the winged goddess. The third arcanum is the lost word. It is the universal language which is mentioned in the Bible in the famous banquet of Nebuchadnezzar.